Welcome, little one. This is your first day. Your designation will be RP-01/138. We expect great things from you. You have been born into dangerous times. A sharp mind can be the key to survival. But as often as not, it will be your inherent physical traits that win the day. And in this regard, you will be superior to your more common brethren. For you are a commando, an elite unit, something truly special. Your weapons, your armor, and most importantly, your brothers.
Men, listen up.
Delta Squad, form up.
Forming up, boss.
What is up, my fellow Republic Commandos? It is your boy Trey, the Bat Chan, and we are back in the galaxy far, far away, checking out the latest episode of Star Wars The Acolyte. Good God, episode 5. We're on the second half now of this show. Hopefully, the first half was not great. A lot of issues. There's a couple things I like, but it's mostly not great for me. I don't know about y'all, but we're continuing on because, hey, I still love Star Wars, and I can't judge it on the first 4 episodes. We got to finish it. We got to see what happens all the way through to see maybe if they have some payoff. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out together, you know. And I already see some questions about does Trey have blue milk tonight? I do not. Tonight, I do not have blue milk, and my reason for that, one, is to keep you guys guessing, but more importantly, I figured we're like 0 for 4 on the blue milk. Anytime I have the blue milk, it doesn't seem like we're doing well with the Star Wars episodes. It just hasn't been great. So hopefully, maybe I'll just superstitious, don't have the blue milk, and we'll be in for a treat tonight. So maybe it's the blue milk that's making the Acolyte not do so great. I don't know. We'll see. But it's great to see everyone in the chat. Guys, if this is your first time hanging out with the Bat Channel, you've never been a part of one of our watch parties, I can't show Star Wars The Acolyte on Disney Plus on our YouTube channel. They would shut me down faster than I could say, these aren't the droids you're looking for. So you must have Disney Plus. I know that's a bit of a challenge if you cancel Disney Plus because of The Acolyte. But if you do still have it, or if you want to start your free trial, do it. Start it, hang out with us, or just watch us react together. We're kind of creating this theatrical experience with Star Wars The Acolyte to kind of get our honest take or reaction. And then tomorrow we'll do our breakdown review of episode 5. But quick little pleasantries to get out of the way real quick. If you haven't checked out our latest episode with Jurassic World Chaos Theory Season 1 review with the Wonder Wife herself, you need to. It's a great video. But also we talk about a really cool show that if you haven't watched on Netflix, you need to. It's amazing. It's good enough to keep you going until the new Jurassic World movie comes out. So come on, you have 12 minutes to spare. Go check out that video after the live stream today. And of course, you can follow us on one of our social media pages like TikTok, Instagram, Twitter at @the_Bat Channel. Or if you're still on Facebook at Holy Bat Channel. It's just a great way to get in touch with us. Like our boy, Beyond the Night sent us some valuable information of something the writer of Star Wars The Acolyte had been posting on the last episode. So it helps us out so much. It's a great way just to get in touch with us, tell us what's going on, and maybe some of the cool things you're finding, like what Beyond the Night did. So do that. Just do that. You already know. And of course, it helps us out so much, guys, when you smash that like, you share this video, you subscribe if you haven't already, and you hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode, because you ain't gonna want to miss our next videos coming out soon. Yes, we will be doing a Penguin trailer reaction. It was one of the best parts of the Batman, I felt like, with the Matt Reeves movie. I think Colin Farrell is an awesome Penguin. So I'm actually very excited for this HBO Max series. We'll probably break it down as well when it comes out in August. But of course, I just found out that Batman the Caped Crusader animated show on Amazon Prime is also coming out with a trailer tomorrow. So we'll probably react to that too at some point. So be on the lookout. And of course, tomorrow, our breakdown. We're just going to be having a damn good time with all of you guys. But without further ado, first off, let me say hello to everyone in the chat. What's up, Oracle, Bat Fanatic, The Butler, Batman Who Laughs, Carrie Kelly, Joker's Wild, 9 Lives in Hell here. Restore this land of our sky. Red Robin Yum, Atomic Kaiju Akio Lee. Good to see you, buddy. Dean Classified, Monarch Eyes Only. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, Dean. Wayne Enterprise. Let's be honest, it would be trash. I hope not. I don't want it to be. I love Star Wars. I don't want it to be trash, but it hasn't been good. Kaiju Crazy Craig Rollin. King Donkey Kong. It is great to see you guys. And boy, Trevor H. Always good to see you guys. And of course, Kato. Welcome, Kato. I can't wait. The show overall has been way better than OGT. The original trilogy? Really? No. Really? You think that? Kato, write in the chat why you think Acolyte has been so successful in your mind in terms of storytelling. I have not found any enjoyment in it so far. I mean, like I said, there's pieces I like of it. Like Jung Jae Lee as Master Soul. I'm digging this dude. Like, I think great actor, cool character so far. I just got a few issues with this storytelling of the show. So if you have some good points, tell me. Or if you're being sarcastic, just give me an LOL. But great to see you guys here. Let me bring out my amazing co-host, the man himself. He's on vacation and he's here for the watch party because, he's being paid. I'm just kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, the best co-host I could ever ask for, Super Bro Corey. How's it going, big fella?
Hey, buddy. I'm on I'm on hotel internet right now. So let me try to work some things out, and I'll be back with you in a second.
Sounds good. Well, in that case, guys, he's working it out. He's figuring it out. Just to be here hanging out with y'all. But ladies and gentlemen, let me bring out another really good friend and co-host of this show, our boy Koj. How's it going, big fella?
Hey, I am freaking glad to be here. It's been one hell of a day. You guys are the best part, and the chat are the best parts of Acolyte.
Oh, is it just a bad day? Just work in general?
No, work was a bad day. I am excited to be here. So this episode, I'm having low expectations to not make the day any worse.
I'm sorry to hear you had a bad day at work, but hopefully the Acolyte will entertain us at least.
My mask is crooked.
Oh, well, Koj, from last episode, we ended on a cliffhanger. Smilo Rayne, as some people have been calling him, has appeared, and he has force pushed all of our Jedis like they were nothing. What expectations do you have for episode 5?
So this is any time to make the show good. This episode, they like at least a really good or decent lightsaber battle. That's the only thing. Any story expectations are kind of thrown out the window, man.
Yeah,
I don't have any. It's just like, damn. Let's see what happens. I'm like, where's this going?
Yeah. We'll definitely have to see. I'm hoping that we get something really cool in terms of the lightsaber battles as well. I mean, I think even Leslye Headland, who is the showrunner of this series on Disney Plus, she has said that they have the best lightsaber action since the prequel trilogy. So when you're saying you got some Nick Gillard level fighting,
she said prequel trilogy, so maybe she knows the thing.
Maybe. I hope so,
because usually the battles, the choreographer, unless they're really working with the director, the choreographer brings the magic with the lightsaber battles. But you can still have great choreography and not film it well. Like, no offense to Christopher Nolan's DP, but they had one of the most amazing Batman choreography before warehouse scene BVS in Batman Begins. They didn't shoot it well, though. You didn't see any of those techniques. It was amazing what they did, and you never saw it. So you could have great choreography, and if they capture it well, you gotta give credit to the choreographer and the performers, a lot of stuff. So it's possible it could be amazing. But
I certainly think one of the things that's been really lacking, and just in majority of Disney's, shows that they've done, and hell, even the sequel trilogy that they came out with, I don't think the lightsaber battles have been anything spectacular.
No.
I mean, some of the Ahsoka stuff has been interesting, and the Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Vader fight was cool, but
those were close. Well, I have to say, one thing that bothered me about the freaking sequel trilogy, when I sent you guys in our little Instagram chat or whatever, I sent you that thing comparing the lightsaber battles, the Revenge of the Sith one. Hey, bro. I noticed something I never noticed before. I paid attention. So when lightsaber battles happen in any Star Wars before Disney happened, they would ching, ching. There would be they would stop, like any sword would. But if you watched the Kylo Ren and, Rey battle in Rise of Skywalker, they just go through with the blades, and then there's a slash. Like they're just swinging at nothing. It's so weird. It's like the lightsaber crosses and goes through each other, and there's a spark. Like there's no friction, and it became more jarring. So I'm like, I hope they know what they're doing, because I don't know if they know what they're doing. So I don't know. I hope I see lightsabers lit up. I hope I see spaceships go zoom. I hope we see space. The expectations are low.
Okay.
They've been great with the sets. The sets are cool.
The sets have been cool. The scenery has been really solid. I'll give them that.
Score is okay.
Super bro.
Hey.
Thoughts or hopes for this episode 5, guys? You got a couple more minutes, and then we're gonna start the episode. So make sure you have Disney Plus pulled up.
I'm expecting to see the best lightsaber fight ever.
Okay.
Right?
I think that's one thing
That's
that
what
could
they
save the
told me.
show, kind of.
That's what they told me. They told me that this is going to be the best lightsaber fight ever in the show. So we ready for
That's
it.
some strong words.
It is some strong words because the first thing I think of is episode 1 or episode 3. How do you beat that? But Disney, I don't think has a winning lightsaber battle in any of their stuff that they've made so far. Wouldn't you say?
Me personally, no. They don't have one that has been super rememberable. I mean, Last Jedi did something kind of interesting, but it like nowhere. I mean, we're talking about top tier prequel trilogy, you know, Duel of Fates, Battle of the Heroes, you know, it's that will forever be tough to beat. So when you throw those words that Leslye Headland has said, you know, like best lightsaber battles ever, okay, good luck. You know, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm just hoping for, you know, like this is at this point, this is like make it or break it now, you know, like we've had 4 episodes and this is the 5th one. We're more than halfway after this one. So it better be good.
Well, let me ask you that. Like, I think that's a great question to ask. Guys, in the chat, let us know if you're ready. I'll put a poll up so that way you guys can let us know if you're good to go. If you're watching on Twitter through us, join us over on YouTube so we can see your comments and read them as we're reacting to the episode 5. So join us over on YouTube, the Bat channel. But let me go ahead and ask we'll start with Koj, then Super Bro Corey. Is this the make it or break it point? If this is another bad episode in your eyes, do you think it's done? There's no way they can fix the damage here.
Yep.
Okay. Super Bro?
Yeah, you know, we're in episode 5 now. So there's only 4 more left after tonight. So yeah, you know, you don't get very far in shows to prove whether or not you're worth watching. They're well past due.
Okay. Yeah. You know, they're definitely, I think, pushing it for a lot of fans. I think there's a lot of people who are trying. They're trying to find the reason to like the show because they are Star Wars fans. And I think the majority has just been overwhelmingly negative. That I think a lot of people are kind of like, I don't know how much more I want to watch, you know, which is sad. I mean, think about it. This is Star Wars, and a lot of people are saying, like, some people have already canceled their Disney Plus subscriptions. It's kind of crazy. But I don't know. I mean, hey, there is other great Disney Plus Star Wars content like Bad Batch. Bad Batch has been solid. I'm almost finished with the final season. It's been a really good season. I've been putting it off for so long because I love the Bad Batch and the Clone Wars, you know, and all that stuff. So the fact that it's coming to an end breaks my heart a little bit. But it looks like, let me end the poll here. I'm seeing like majority of you are ready to go. Okay. All right. Well, let me end the music here so we're not distracting from our theatrical experience. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
All right. So as always, guys, I start the episode right where you see the Disney helmet, Star Wars flashing, where it starts with like Darth Vader, the reds, the blues. So here we go. Hope you guys have your headphones ready. Coming down in 3, 2, 1. Hello there. Glad to have you guys here. It's great to see everybody.
Thanks for having me again.
I'm in Iowa right now.
Ooh.
This is fun.
Isn't that Slipknot's town, the one I compare the mask to?
I think so, yeah.
They're not even going to show us what happened, hey?
That's an interesting choice.
They force pushed
The
what
after-
happened away.
Oh, okay, we're hearing something.
I'm hearing some. Is it?
Oh, okay. Wow.
Oh,
Well, the helmet blocks
Like-
it.
Beskar steel or something?
Has to be.
she might be alive still.
Oh,
Right. Technically, she should still be alive. Stab wounds don't do it. Slashing.
unless this thing made lightsabers deadly again.
Oh, he did not. You gonna help her out, May?
I'm gonna be there for my sister all of a sudden.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, take the
Ooh, he
Wookiee's
used his
lightsaber, right? Mm.
Stop beeping. The droid's giving away the position.
Mm-hmm.
Get her. Get her. Oh, we're so close.
That's cool.
Mm. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, an
the
intro.
course.
Okay.
They're like, hold on a sec, hold on.
Jesus. Basil's like, I'm getting out of here. Screw you guys. Jesus.
Why do you have to say it like that?
It's kind of hard to remember anyone like that.
Yeah, she's a witch, bro.
Ah.
Nice.
Jedi hand to hand. Okay.
No, no. You see, I've changed sides.
Wow.
Whoa, why is she trying to kill her? I thought we were going to give herself up anyways.
Yeah.
This is why Jedi's going to learn Force control.
Oh, so it's like a Magneto helmet?
I was just thinking that.
Mm. A Sith one. Saber fighting isn't too bad, but too many cuts away from it takes away from the saber fight story.
Absolutely, dude.
They weren't able to do it.
It brings you in and brings you out so quick.
Mm-hmm. We need like to stick with it for a good while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See who's going to get advantage over the other, what tactics. Just a little bit, like episode 1 did very well.
Hmm. Ah.
Holy shit.
Confirm me. Where's my receipt? Right? Girl went from giving
Like this
herself
one's
up
getting
to the
good
Jedi
narration.
because they
Yeah.
would
Huh, she's still trying to kill Jackie, though.
Yeah, she's good. Send her to jail forever. Pull a Mace Windu and finish her.
Uh-oh. What?
I'm crazy if there's like 2 of them.
Uh-oh.
I hate it when that happens.
Oh? I wouldn't trust that lightsaber. I think it's faulty.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this fake Sith
Flexibility.
can't even take down a Padawan.
Oh, but the Padawan has 2 lightsabers.
This is
But
taking
still, yeah.
Master Soul's ability, though.
Mm-hmm.
JK, I think we're a goner.
So who's fighting Soul? It's like 2 of them? Or is Soul still fighting? Or did they bounce from fighting
Unless
Soul?
if they created another 2 again, you know, the witches have like another set.
Gosh, the power of 1, the power of 2, the power of many.
There's probably going to be a bunch of them with masks.
Yeah. The Knights of Many. Oh my, so confused.
I would actually like them to go like power 1, power 2, power 3, and each one says the number they come in. Let's just make it more worse.
Just a reminder, if you're watching us over on Twitter, come join us on YouTube so we can see and read your thoughts and reaction as we're going through.
Why would you fall back?
You really just get away from Master Soul and
I guess so.
You did. Oh my god. That's why we need the one continuous shot of the fight, not this back and forth.
Mm-hmm. I think it's that dude that was following them that is the whiff or whatever. The whiff. I thought you're not gonna shine the light because they're attracted to light.
maybe that's the point.
Oh. Bring the creatures to the battle?
Yeah, as a distraction, which I had a feeling, you know, with that comment that, oh, what the hell?
She headbutted the. Oh! Oh!
Welcome, Luck Gamer. Hope you're doing well. Great to see you in the chat.
Padawan's doing some stuff, eh?
Oh!
Oh,
3
there we
strikes.
go. Good. Don't worry, she could probably make this.
Ah, see, I told you it's the dude.
Oh, you're right, Trey or JoJ.
Come here.
I mean, he's the only guy who said he had no motive, but would go through all this stuff. That's a lie. But I thought it was bad writing, too.
Jackie's dead, bro. Was that its name? Jackie's a person. I'm a person.
Mm.
Damn. Do it. Do it. Never give up your lightsaber. Wow.
Oh my God.
Wow. Wow. Trash. Boo.
Yeah, I don't like that Sith thing, man. You could have said like I'm something
Just
else,
destroy
or I don't
me.
know.
Just kill me. We know it's coming. He's going to get OSHA. Yep. Destroy her. Yep. Destroy her.
I mean, that's the only way to make Yadamundi not a dick.
Do it. All right, Joe. Oh, dang.
Damn.
Bye, George. And she's still going to kill.
Oh, no, so we're not. He's trying to make a point out of you.
What are we doing?
Oh, nice.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Get him.
No, he can't.
Finish him. Oh my gosh, OSHA. Get out of here. He's too powerful. Finish him. Oh my God. He's not unarmed, though. He's a Sith. He's armed again. What?
Eh? And bye-bye.
Do we seriously think he's dead?
He's not
No,
dead.
what? I mean,
they need an excuse to get him out of there for a second.
he exited stage left.
He can't even like remove it with the force and
Or force push those things like
He
he
had
force pushed a lot of force users.
Right? He had that amazing force. Oh boy.
some stun gun.
Did they take him to their nest? What is going on?
Play, Peter. Peter, play. Bannering Peter. They went to Neverland.
Kato really liked the episode. Okay. Kato, give me your 3 points about why you really, really liked it. Butler didn't like it. Okay.
This is weird.
Reversal.
It wasn't me. It was the one-armed man. You killed her.
It's like the show just banks on randomity, I feel. Or randomness.
That was weird.
Yeah.
Oh, she's cutting her hair to look like OSHA. It smells like burnt hair in here.
So she's gonna pose as OSHA. She must have touched it up later. The hair is like a little.
If Soul can't
Professionally
recognize
done.
that this is not May,
Yeah, something's weird.
if Soul can't recognize that this is not May, what the heck?
Maybe a Padawan would be fooled, you know?
Well, I mean, didn't Kamir say literally, like, why would I take off my helmet so you can read my mind? And like,
Mm-hmm. He could scan her. Make sure she's okay, or even scan her to see what happened.
Not OSHA.
That's
And not only that, she quickly went back to heal again. She's quickly right back on her mission.
If Master Soul ain't using this as like I'm gonna capture you type thing and like, you know, double cross her, I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
First part horror film.
It's the freaking beaver nose. The beaver nose.
He's using his senses, not even the force. He should be able to.
He's just sniffing.
Interesting, Kato. Me personally, I will agree with the horror film part. The Jedi, I mean, I was expecting that, so that I was expecting them to be dead, a lot of them to die, so that was not a surprise. But narrative subverts expectations. I guess that's always a plus. Depends on how it subverts expectations.
Yeah. Looking forward to certain groups of people dying isn't really a thing for me.
So now they've switched places.
Oh, like Killer, but switched places. I see.
He knows it's somebody. It's Osha. Wow.
Ha. Alrighty.
Created by a loser.
Okay. Well.
Executively produced by a loser.
So obviously Corey's not happy with it.
How could you tell?
I hope that's not what Leslye meant by that is the best lightsaber action of all time, of all Star Wars.
No.
Was it better than what we've seen by Disney? I'd put it up there. It's one of the better ones we've seen Disney do. Sure. I think the cinematography did not benefit the action because I agree with the editing choice of removing the scenes made it less impactful and just downright exciting. You know, they kind of just cut away too much to unnecessary like stories for them just to run back and get to each other. So, KJ, what are you thinking, man?
I'm not thinking much. I think it was overhyped. If this was the best part, not the final episode of like the greatest lightsaber thing ever. Nah, they didn't get there. It is better than what we've been used to seeing. I thought it was clever how they panned behind a tree when they cut the heads off of two Jedi. They had some creative, inventive moments, but that's a whole piece. I don't think so. When I think of like a great battle, I think of it like, okay, we're going to see a good dance number length of choreography, of storytelling through physicality, not these brief snippets of stuff, then break to another one. To me, that's a bit of a cheat, and maybe they couldn't afford the special effects of lightsabers being on the screen, so they had to incorporate creative ways to go to hand. And I don't mind hand-to-hand, but this is Star Wars. I got a bunch of other stuff for hand-to-hand combat. So, yeah, the little twists, it's not too big of a deal. Yeah, it is better than the last episode, but at the same time, it's kind of, it's like unsurprising in a Power Ranger way.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Super Bro, your thoughts, respectfully.
I never, ever, ever, ever want to see two lightsaber wielding people fight hand to hand ever. Like I just don't want to see it. Don't want to see it ever. So that was straight trash. The whole cutting back and forth and not showing the entire sequence, trash. I'm glad Koj mentioned it because Koj has, done some stuff where he's choreographed, like dancing and fight scenes and such like that. And part of what makes it special is the, entire set, the entire sequence of the entire fight or entire dance. So, I could take a few swings at you in a cut and then a few scenes, swipes again, like it just pulls you out of it. It doesn't make it look good at all. So that was annoying. I was surprised that wasn't a mother that, but like we thought we were going to be pretty disappointed if it was that one dude. So
I know we literally just said in our breakdown that if it was Khmer, we were going to be like, what a silly, stupid reveal.
Exactly.
I mean, dude had guns, but then at the same time, I was like, well, is it the stunt double? I don't know. So
I won't deny it's a cool look for a Sith. I mean, it's intimidating.
And everybody's been saying like, oh, Coyote hasn't technically lied yet because the dude's not a Sith. Well, he just straight up said he was a Sith now. So,
they're leaving the planet. They're on the ship as we speak. So it's like, literally, if the next episode is them in Coruscant and having a conversation with the Jedi Council, then this show would have like crapped in
kind of lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree with this.
But like we said though, this we thought that this may be an attack on Ki-Adi-Mundi and the Jedi as a whole as well. We did mention that to you. So this could be very purpose driven as well. So man, and then the fact that Soul and them, like they're able to like just not be smart, like even Soul looked kind of dumb this go. He did look dumb this go around. The best part of the show being Master Soul for us, they made him look like an idiot too. So this one left a bad taste in my mouth.
Well, I mean, yeah, and this is the part where I have to say, like, hopefully that Soul is like he's already on to May, because to me it's a little hard to believe that when Khmer, the Sith, says, I'm not going to take off my helmet so you can read my mind. So he's very like aware that Soul is very powerful and connected to the Force, that he has that strength to the point where Soul is able to just wipe it out, not read her at all. And just like King Donkey Kong said, the constant flipping back and forth between May. I care for my sister. I want to save my sister. I want to kill my sister. I'm going to turn myself into the Jedi because I'm loyal to my sister. Let me kill Jackie. I know she doesn't kill Jackie, but she's trying to. She's trying to stab her in the throat. Granted, yes, I know they're fighting, but you think she would have tried to say, "Hey, I'm here to surrender myself. Like, I'm here. I'm giving up. My hands. Arrest me." Because that's literally what she was going to do. But the fact that it wasn't Kelnaka who did it, she was kind of like, whatever. And then going back into this, I love you. Say you love me back. That we're sisters again. Say we're a team to this silly, like, okay, well, you're not going to agree with me. Now I'm just going to continue on my mission and destroy the Jedi because they took you away from me. When literally in that episode where Osha chooses to be a Jedi, she says, I'm going to kill you, Osha. And it's like, so to me, that's bad storytelling. That it didn't earn the right for May to all of a sudden be like, I'm on your team, Osha, and then to be like, nah, screw it. Osha clearly doesn't like me. Let me destroy the Jedi further. Yes, I get they're clearly they're leading us up to once again returning 16 years ago to that moment where May turns on Osha, and that the Jedi are the real reason that the witches are dead, their mothers are dead, and the Jedi are pieces of shit. So I don't think that's a good choice in the long run. I don't mind adding complexity to some of our Jedis, because I'm fully aware that there could be a few Jedis who just aren't in it for the right reasons. But at the same time, you've now made all of the Jedi look shitty.
Mm-hmm.
You made them look stupid
exactly.
in the show, and not only that, you've made if they get back. They made it. They survived. They know this dude's a Sith. He called himself a Sith. If he says, if they have any contact with Coruscant, this show is going to ruin the prequel trilogy for the simple fact that Ki-Adi-Mundi tells the entire Jedi Council the Sith have been extinct for a millennium. That means they were lying. And him, more importantly, was lying, and therefore they killed Qui-Gon Jinn. Make Jedi great again. Yeah.
And then the other thing too is like Kato says, there's nothing fundamentally wrong with the fight scenes. I feel like modern film had turned every action scene into a nonstop dance number rather than the tension and release, which is better. Which I understand what you're saying there, Kato. But here's the thing: how did the Sith get away from Master Soul? All of a sudden, people have mentioned like, is there a couple of them? So like you lose like, where
you lose the storytelling of the action.
Exactly.
I don't mind jumping between. We've seen that happen in Star Wars a lot, where they jump between Luke and Vader duking it out, to the Ewoks fighting stormtroopers, to Han Solo and Leia trying to break into the unit,
with Obi-Wan versus Anakin, to Yoda versus fighting. Emperor. I mean, but they're still,
but they didn't leave you hanging. They continued the continuity of the point A to point B to point C. Sorry.
And I also agree with what he said here. There's nothing wrong with retconning Sith history, especially in a timeline that has, for the most part, only been explored in books and comics, in the new canon at least. But here's the thing. This is directly affecting Ki-Adi-Mundi, like Trey said earlier, with him saying that the Sith had been gone for a millennium, or
that's in the
for
movie.
1,000 years. Yeah, that's in the movie. So it's retconning the movie. So I don't mind if you make new Sith lore and stuff like that and add to the story. That what's wrong with it is affecting what's already out there. That's the issue with that.
Well, more importantly,
the witches.
Because Rogue One retconned the whole Kyle Katarn story.
Carol, that's funny.
It didn't affect the whole movie timeline.
To me, it's more just one of those scenes where Disney is continuing to show that the Jedi were always wrong in their way of thinking. They were never the good guys. It's all a matter of a certain point of view, And to me, I have an issue with that, because what is truly the light side and the dark side then? It's really, there is no such thing as the dark side. There's no such thing as the light side. It's just the ability to use the Force, and I think that's a misunderstanding, and that's what I'm starting to get from Disney, is they're not understanding who the Jedi are versus who the Sith are. Because they're that's what it means to retcon. Kato, I think the why retcon though? What's the purpose of retconning what George Lucas did? What is technically canon? Like,
especially when he's the original content creator for this.
If the movies are canon, then why retcon those? If that is, I'm willing to believe that comics are soft canon, that video games soft canon, the books are soft canon, the legend books no longer exist according to Disney, but like, you have to take the movies as complete canon. So I have to ask, why do you make that decision writing wise to say Ki-Adi-Mundi lied to the Jedi Council? And who knows who else knew about it in that council in Phantom Menace, where he said the Sith have been extinct for a millennium. There's no reason to fear or to think the Sith have come back, so we don't need to reinforce Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi on Naboo. Where Qui-Gon dies, which forces Count Dooku, from that moment, he believes the Jedi have lost their way, so he joins the Emperor. And in a way, because Qui-Gon Jinn dies, you could say it's a thing that catapults us into the rest of the trilogy that becomes Anakin to Darth Vader. It just gets to that thing where it all comes to the Jedi were just pieces of shit that lied because they're selfish. They don't want anyone to have the power that they do. They want the Sith completely eradicated and, you know, no teachings of it, which yes, that part is true, but like it just makes the Jedi seem like tyrants rather than they really were peacekeepers. I'm not seeing peace with them. That to us, that is currently a lie. They're not monks, you know, with the ability of the Force. It just the basis for interesting.
Soul could die, no one would know.
Right, yeah. Well,
that's possible.
As I told Corey the other day, every time you write something that takes place before the previous installment, you almost always have to change the way the rest of the story works. No, I don't. I completely disagree with that. You know, like
so. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a new Lord of the Rings or Lord of the Rings movie about Smeagol, and Smeagol is actually going to take the One Ring to rule them all and drop it into the volcano fiery pit. So completely retconning all of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. That's basically what we're doing here. You know, like let's play around with stuff. Like it's weak.
Well, to me, it's like I always go back to the what's the purpose? Why are we doing that? And to me, they could have gone if they wanted to do this story, the Acolyte. It makes more sense at this point to do 1,000 years in the past, because at that time you don't have to worry about the confines, you know, and the restrictions, the boundaries of the story. This is, unfortunately, I get it. This is kind of the sad beast to when, you know, the original creator, this, you know, father of Star Wars or any IP is no longer a part of it, and you now allow these other generations to start writing and they put in what they want into it. But to me, it's like it's almost there are boundaries. You have to stay within what the original creator wanted to do. It's why Corey, I know you brought up J.R.R. Tolkien with Lord of the Rings. It's why his son Christopher vetoed a lot of stuff that studios wanted to do. He was like, nope, my dad would never agree to this. Nope, my dad would never agree to this. Nope. He was a pain in the ass to work with. Amazon Prime was very vocal that he was difficult to work with. And then all of a sudden, when Christopher Tolkien passed away and he no longer had control over the IP, Rings of Power went cranked up in production. They were able to do whatever they wanted to do because they didn't have to worry about a say anymore. So, I mean, I just think personally, there's a misunderstanding with Disney about the Jedi and even the Sith. And it's unfortunate if the rumors are true from the writer that Dave Filoni approved these stories, these scripts. I don't think he was ahead of Star Wars yet when they were writing and filming this, so I'm not exactly certain how true that is, but I'm a little worried if this is their views on the Jedi, because I don't see how people can grow up and think the Jedis are cool or they're good people. You know, right now it's like you don't have a family, you can't, you know, you're not going to enjoy life. This is why the Jedi suck. You know, they take you from everything. You're a robot. And it's like, but what about keeping peace and helping people? That's what the Jedi do. They help. They secure peace within our society. But now what we're learning is that the Jedi are just liars and controllers and tyrants of the truth, that they force their spin on things, and it just becomes a dictatorship of the Jedi, to where does anyone now feel bad when Order 66 happens? I don't think you can. I think what Disney is doing to the Jedi is you're now going back to Order 66 and you're saying good riddance. You know, we needed new leadership because the Jedi were clearly full of shit. And to me, I don't understand that mentality.
Maybe it's time for an Order 66.
Maybe.
Disney is doing Order 66 to Star Wars.
They very well could be.
I don't know. It feels like it. But even to add on to what you're saying is like, even if, you know, you just take it from the movie standpoint, there's a course of action of storyline that happened. Like even the sequel trilogy, I would say, went in different directions, but they drew back from stuff that happened prior. So if you have like a prequel, you draw storytelling of how did we get from here to there. But the thing is, when you retcon, you know, all this stuff that happens that we already know that happened, it seems like it's a separate timeline, even because they don't sync up.
Your view of the Jedi seems incomplete until no one group is all powerful and liked. As Americans, we looked at as peacekeepers and we're hated in many nations. I see what you're saying there. The one in the future, I think the issue is the simple fact that take out the sequel trilogy, because the sequel trilogy will ruin this debate for the simple fact that it's Disney and clearly they wanted to get rid of the idea of Jedi. But what is the purpose of Luke continuing the Jedi ways? Granted, in the Star Wars Legend books, he kind of makes it his own thing. But at the same time, he does bring back the Jedi because he truly believes the Jedi stand for good. But the truth is, according to Disney, is that the Jedi were never good.
But Trey.
What?
Trey, the Jedi have to be good. If the Sith are evil, they have to. Remember, it's a balance of the Force, right?
Is it though? But see, that's what Disney doesn't understand.
Oh,
what is
this
the balance of the Force
now? We got this thread thing now. Kind of like when Enterprise is. Yep, like when Enterprise saying, "Are the Jedi not the good side of the Force?" Yes. And to counteract that, to be the balance to it, there's also the bad side of the Force.
I mean, yeah, to me, it's just the Jedi are good to some, but not all. Well, but see, I think that's, yes, that is a complexity that they've added. And yes, you could say even George Lucas was adding a bit with the separatist forces, but the separatists weren't really trying to separate from the Jedi. It was more separating from the Republic because they believed the Republic was corrupted. The Republic was tyrants. It wasn't the Jedi so much. Yes, the Jedi were kind of the police of this society, but at the same time, they weren't really the ones that the separatists were trying to get away from. You know, so
in a way, the Jedi were like the Shaolin monks. You know, they never ruled anything. They had some say. They were just there to help with their wisdom. They even helped build roads and stuff, interacted with the community. Yeah. They knew the martial arts and all that, so they were very powerful and strong, but they never dictated. They only helped the nation, you know, the land, whoever's in charge of the land, they obeyed the rules and just helped out. They weren't really rulers, though. I feel like Disney's treating them like they were rulers.
True. So I don't know. It's just I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where they go with episode 6. I think once again, the Jedi were the police of a corrupt group. So if you enforce corrupt policies, what does that make you?
That's very Sith logic.
I mean, it is. Right. I mean, I think you're taking too much of an absolute that the Jedi were there to enforce the Republic's laws. You know,
Trey, of course he's going to make an absolute there.
It's a very right. It's like a way of thinking.
Like
See, that I think that's where you're getting
Jedi.
confused. The one in the future is that they're not meant to be warriors of a government. That is where the Jedi, some of them, did get that complexity, that confusion, and where they did make bad decisions, like Mace Windu. But are we really going to say that people like Yoda knowingly enforced evil things on the galaxy over his 900 years of living? Or did he leave a good and peaceful keeping of life that he, to me, it just, so was Obi-Wan not a general? Yeah, but I think
he was made a general when the Sith were in power because Palpatine was calling the shots, and the Palpatine changed laws to incorporate the Jedi to work with the clone troopers to bring peace. So that making Jedi's knights and generals was actually done by a Sith. They didn't know that because Sith operates in lies and deception. They even fooled the Jedi. That's how they got the Jedi. And that's not really from the Jedi.
I'm just going to throw this out there right now.
Why, Mr. Anderson? Why? Why do you do it?
Dude, I wondered the same. I wondered the same, Super Bro. Because he's talking exactly,
We know.
So, I mean, I see what you're trying to say, the one in the future, but I think once again, you're imposing a lot of your own views on how our current political society works and forcing it in a science fiction world. And yes, granted, it was inspired by a lot of things, but there was one thing that George Lucas didn't confuse, which was there is a light side, the good side, versus the dark side, evil side of the Force. The Jedi were on the good and the Sith were on the bad. So Disney seems to think that it really just matters about your certain point of view of what is good and what is bad, because not everyone believes that. Yes, I know that's realism, that's truth, but at the same time, Star Wars was a story originally about good versus evil. And I think you have to stay within those realms because that's what it was. That's the seed. That is the root of all of it, and how the dark side can corrupt, and that the light has to shine through. It has to beat the dark, right? LBC Robbie says, I like this one the best to date, in all honesty. Besides flashbacks to Basila, I think you are right about the lightsaber coach. I will agree with that. I think this was the best episode
of Acolyte.
I would agree. To me, it's not saying much because the first 4 episodes were very hard to watch. I don't think there was. Yeah,
we got more lightsaber fighting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they were creatively brutal for the Sith side. So this show does feel like it's very Sith friendly. If people love Sith and love seeing Jedi die, this is probably, get your rocks off and all that good stuff. But even taking out expertise and knowledge of Jedi, the Force, the lore, just as a story alone, the U-turns the characters make with their motives are way too much, too quick. It feels like it takes turns just to throw you off for the sake of doing that, whether it's Star Wars or any type of story. And I feel that's a part that's hurting it a lot, despite it being any kind of franchise. That's just something that I feel kind of it just comes off a little too flat, and then there's no merit to any of the U-turn decisions or the shock thing. If anything, it's just kind of random. And if it's random and it does what you don't expect, but a lot of things came out as we expected, some people like that, but I don't think that counts as strong storytelling. It's just kind of more shock still.
Yeah, I mean, I guess going on
In my
to episode 6, I am very interested. The things that I'm still kind of interested in is Kamir. Now that we know he's the Sith, I'm curious to see what has pushed him to do this. He clearly has a history with Soul, especially. And we'll just have to see why he's pushing for this mission against those 4. May is just going to flip and turn all the way through this. That like her character is just annoying to me at this point.
Yeah, if you're going to turn yourself in Jedi Found, you're like, oh, okay, cool, here we go. That was the new motive. Then the next motive is like, I'm going to use a knife to get away from you.
Better villain than Kylo Ren. I don't think Kylo Ren got a good enough story. I liked where they were going with Kylo Ren, but I think I just didn't care for the sequel trilogy. It was not great in my opinion. But
I'll go with Equity Group here. Is it I kind of like this guy more than Kylo Ren off the face thing. Just like how he carries himself as a villain when he was revealed, just performance-wise. I'm not a Kylo Ren fan either. I think he missed a lot of marks. I think he can be handled better, but they're still down here. But I would say this character so far seems better than Kylo Ren. But
yeah, I agree with that. You're right. It's a story about good versus evil, originally for children. It's interesting that people want to hold that intent but critique it from an adult viewpoint.
They're putting adult content in it.
And there were some instances, the one in the future, where I thought they did a fairly good job, like Andor, for a good example. Andor really added complexity since Rogue One. With the rebels, they showed that the rebels were sometimes willing to cross that line that wasn't exactly heroic. And while it's believable, and I was kind of okay with it, I still say Andor has some of the best dialogue in Star Wars history. I just think I've said it before. There was times where Andor was amazing, and there was times where I was like, this doesn't feel like Star Wars anymore. It feels like Blade Runner. But I think, I agree, Oracle. A better episode because of the action. The story is still lacking greatly. I think that's the problem, is that the action better than most than we've seen from Disney. Story is still just all over the place, and someone needs to clean it up. And I almost wonder if it has something to do with their run times. Everything is feeling very rushed. It feels like they're not taking their time with the show at all. It feels like they know, and they were told, you got to get from point A to B here, and you got to do it as quickly as possible because we got to get to here. And I think that's a sad thing, because maybe the show could have benefited greatly from having 45-minute to an hour episodes, But as for a show, still don't think it's good. This was the best episode, but the dialogue was still rough. You're arguing with me about a show that you don't think is great. Hey, I respect it. I respect the game. I appreciate that. You're throwing in some good conversations, and I think they're fair, because you do kind of have to ask yourself, who is Star Wars for? George Lucas had always kind of said it's for children, right? Hence why the prequel trilogy felt very childlike and wonder.
Very simple.
Yeah, Clone Wars, when he continued on with that, everything did feel very childlike. An old Western, the good guys versus the bad guys, right? A space Western, as you may call it. But there is that we do grow up, we do get older, and we start to see things a little differently. I think the problem with that idea, though, is are the Jedi at all, in Disney's eyes, redeemable in some way? Were they ever the good guys, or were they just happen to be the big dogs on top at some point? And I think that's where they're getting lost.
And I think that's why, explain the light side versus the dark side of the Force. What does that mean if the light side is actually kind of mid brown, like tarnished, like there, and the dark side is, like, are we going to say it's, just what are we talking about? The force has to be even and equal on the side of things, and it doesn't make sense when you're saying it's actually we're shifting the line down here. It's really just bad guys, bad, good. We're just shifting it like down here now. Like this is the dark side, this is the light side, and really they're just kind of more mid tier in the middle. They're not rhinos. They're hard right. Different things like that. Like that's basically what how we're trying to explain the force now. It's stupid.
Yeah. LBC Robbie, I'm sorry. I didn't say anything about high praise, just I'm going to watch no matter what because it's Star Wars and I'll take what I can get. I can live with episode 5. That is a great point, LBC. And I think that's what's keeping me still here because I'm a Star Wars fan first. And I want to see good content. I want to see, and I'm also kind of taking into effect what they did with Clone Wars. Clone Wars, you saw that first movie, everyone hated Ahsoka. Even I was kind of like, good God, this girl's annoying. Like, we just, please don't bring her back. And then the series came out and Ahsoka became one of our all-time favorite characters. To me, it's kind of like, maybe they're doing that. Maybe we're just on a long stretch here that we're trying to see the reason. I'm still not okay with some of the retconning they're doing with the movies. I don't care so much about Legends, or the things they've already decanonized. Like I said, as a DC fan, as a Godzilla fan, I know that the comics, the books are generally not hard canon. But I agree with you. This is the best episode yet. There's still a lot of issues with it, though. Yeah. The story is weak sauce. The story is definitely lacking, for sure. There's a lot of plot holes, a lot of things they're skimming through. Kylo Ren was a whiny baby on his period and not scary. I think Adam Driver, who played Kylo Ren, I think he did the best of what he could because we all know he is a great actor. And I think they dropped the ball with Kylo Ren's story because he could have been really cool. He had the potential to be a really cool character, and they dropped the ball immensely with him. Yeah, very, very cool, very cool. Acolyte episode 5 was awful. Just give me a view, but the Acolyte was truly crap, unequivocally and redeemably. Hey, yeah, it's not. I appreciate you stopping by, giving us a view, maybe giving us a like and a subscribe. I appreciate that. Acolyte's getting hard to watch. It's becoming a thing where I'm kind of like, let's see what they do today. I mean, if you saw our breakdown from episode 4, every time I watch an episode or anytime we do these watch parties, normally how I do it is I react with you guys on these live streams, these watch parties, first time watching it. And then the next day, right before our breakdown, I'll have my wife watch it. And I don't ever tell her anything. She doesn't watch our live streams. But I don't tell her anything about it. We just watch it, and I watch her reaction, and I take my notes so I can prepare for the breakdown. Even after episode 4, Wonder Wife was like, do I have to watch anymore? Like, can I be done? She literally said, can I be done with this? Like, I don't care to watch. I don't care to continue. She's like, you're good to do what you need to do for YouTube. And I was like, wow. I wonder why even was kind of like, no, I'm not game for this show anymore. Which is tough to do, I feel like, for her, because she's just a general fan of Star Wars. She doesn't know the lore. She doesn't know. She's not a geek about it like I am, Koji is, Corey is, and even she was kind of like, this is just not a good show. And she stopped. So it's sad. It kind of bums me out.
I kind of wish my sister was seeing. She's actually way more critical and brutal than me.
Yeah, we'll do, mate. It's not good. I would like to have liked the show, but they dropped the ball, as you said. It could have been great. And that's the thing, I feel like a lot of people, unfortunately, Disney's doing this protection thing, this armor shield around them that says if you don't like whatever they do, you're just mad because like you're bigotry, you're the racist, you're sexist, you don't like women. And if you watch our trailer reactions for Star Wars The Acolyte of Super Bro Corey and I, we were both like, ooh, dude, this looks good. This could be awesome. We were excited. We were hyping up the freaking show. So there was no ill intent, no like hate wanted towards this show. We're just watching it and going like, okay, let's see what they do next episode. That's not an improvement. Let's see what they do next episode. That's definitely not an improvement. Okay, why the flip-flopping? What are they doing? 5? It's better, but it's not good. It's better than what we've had. And that's, I shouldn't feel that way about Star Wars. I should be like, dude, like when the first season of Mandalorian came out and we were all like, let's go. I'm excited for Andor season 2. Can't wait for that. Ahsoka season 2, give me that, even though that kind of dropped the ball in a couple of areas. But nonetheless, I want the best for Star Wars. I want the next generation to be excited to see Star Wars, but I don't get the feeling that people are anymore. But I appreciate your comment, dude. LBC says Soul showing up late doesn't bother me that much. Star Wars has always had last second the same about Han coming in before Biggs was killed. That's fair. Yeah, fair. I mean, to me, it just kind of it cut in a weird place where it's kind of like, what the hell happened to Soul?
I like this question from the one in the future. He said, here's a question for you guys. Do you think Star Wars, mainly stories of the Force, Jedi, Sith, etc., can't really thrive in the medium of television?
No, I think it can, because we've seen it can.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen Clone Wars succeed. We've seen Star Wars Rebels be a great show. A couple of seasons of Mandalorian have been really, really good. And honestly, kind of remember when the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian came out and everyone was talking about Star Wars and like how Disney has reignited the flame in Star Wars, the fandom.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is good storytelling, undeniable good storytelling, and people will back it up. Disney, sure, let's throw in the community who is shouting woke any chance they can get with Star Wars. There was no denying that season 1 of Mandalorian was a great show. Everyone was hyped for season 2, and got that incredible cameo ending, right? I think fans don't care if you're doing great storytelling. If it's no longer great storytelling, if they're seeing the inconsistencies, I think someone said it last episode, one of our people in our chat was like, when agenda takes priority over the story. I think there's some instances like that, but we'll see. We'll see. What do you think of that, Koji? Do you think Star Wars can survive on TV or streaming?
Oh, it definitely can. The whole thing isn't really they've done it all, really. They've done TV. They've done made-for-TV movies. I don't know if you all remember the Ewok movies they made in the 90s.
Yeah.
That expanded the universe, and it's really hard to place where they are. But even Mandalorian used a creature from the Ewoks 2 movie. So I think it's not really the medium that makes or break it. I think it's having a love and a sincere appreciation to expand on a world that's established. And I'll use something else that's not Star Wars, like maybe wuxia kung fu films, the ones where their technique of mastery of martial arts makes them kick off the ground so they could leap really high and far to look like they are flying. or they can master balance on a tiny thin of rope and jump off. And when Ang Lee, he wanted to make a movie to his culture of that wuxia kung fu cinema, and Ang Lee being a drama director, like he doesn't do fantasy action at all, but he really wanted to pay homage to something he loved. And then he made Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which became the epitome prime example of wuxia done perfectly. A lot of people argue that. And I would say that's approaching a world and a style and a culture out of love and telling your own story to expand on that. So if any storyteller, director, producer, what have you, takes that sincere passion and appreciation to go into that world and expand it, tell new stories and all that, as long as you honor that, it's wonderful. Because it's more like what I said with Crouching Tiger or whatever. It's more than just, martial arts and deep thoughts about meditation. There's a story, there's characterization, there's a lot of things within that world. You could take that to Star Wars, you could take it to Star Trek, you could take the Lord of the Rings, DC, what have you. And if you bring that love, you could tell any story you want within that world, as long as you're appreciating it and expanding it. And you could tell any kind of stories, any kind of medium, video games, movies, TV series, short film. I just think you just need that sincerity, and that's key. And it's hard to find that sincerity when you're in a company or any company that is done by a committee that's looking at marketing stuff, that's looking at how to sell toys, looking at so many different avenues of how to make money quickly, that it's easy to miss the time it takes to express love. Because we could argue what we like and don't like, but what is happening is that there's a factory machine pushing out all these cookies that have to be made at a certain time, that in that pace of things, are we getting the right people in spots? Are we giving the right stories of right enough time and resources to tell what they need to tell to really move people's hearts and expand the worlds that we love? It's really hard. I think they can do it, but I think I don't know, the greed of getting subscribers maybe, or selling certain things here and there, that different people, too many chefs in the kitchen have to push out too much food. And I don't know, things are bumping into each other. And I think that's the result of what we get. And some people might like it, you just blindly throw a bunch of things at the target board and something might hit, if people, I'm pretty sure any movie, good or bad, or story, there's someone who's going to love it and like it. They might love it in spite of it. There's no doubt about it. But to really make something that's going to last a long time and pay homage to something that got us here in the first place, I think that's special, and that should always take priority. But unfortunately, it's other things that take priority, and it's just convoluted. Bless you.
I love what you said there, and I'd like to jump in there as well, because I completely agree with what you said. And how I am starting to see this is it can work, the one in the future. I truly believe it can work. But here's the issue. We're running into a place in Hollywood and all these, creators where they don't respect the IP anymore. And they don't, they want to they're just using it as a vessel to do whatever the heck they want. And how I see this is very similar to the way I see the Pooh movie, the Pooh verse. It's just, we're going to make something completely outlandish, completely wild, and really what I want it to be, just to make a spectacle out of it. And that's what Leslye Headland is doing with the Acolyte. That's what the other director has been doing with that Pooh verse and everything like that. We're just taking IP and we're just twisting it and, clustering it into something absolutely crazy and wild. And it's for shock factor, nothing more than that. They don't care about the story. They don't care about the IP as a whole. They didn't create it, so they're just doing it for shock factor and craziness. It's absolutely wild.
Yeah, and I think one of the themes that I've noticed, especially as like someone who loves comic book movies, and we talked about this earlier on our last breakdown with of like Godzilla movies, the MonsterVerse, right? You can really tell when someone has been a fan and loves the IP, and now they're in the director's seat, they're in the driver's seat, steering the ship, and you can feel the love from those people. And then there's the other people who are like, I just got a job for one of the biggest franchises in IP. I have no idea what it is other than that Star Wars is a big name. Now let me write my ideas about how to make this universe better. And when you don't take the time to understand why fans love the IP and find your own love for the IP and what George Lucas has done for it, then I think you start to lose sight of things, and I think you start to be disingenuous with the IP and the storytelling of it. So we'll have to see where this goes on. There's a lot of troubling things with the Acolyte.
I think
kind of just
I love what Mr. Yogurt says here too. He says, I was looking forward to the show because the High Republic is a cool era. And then they drop this and I'm highly disappointed. Like, how do you pretend to you start to talk about a show of High Republic era?
Yeah.
And you come out with this BS. Super Bet Mom's in the chat. She says, hey guys, just wondering if PBC should take a stand and just not support the Acolyte show. Why give it the attention? If it's crap, then personally I wouldn't waste time.
It's an interesting thought. Hey mom, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Nice when your parents come around and support you every now and then. It's always good.
People are saying we need good voices. We need someone who is not a shill for Disney and give us their honest take. Oracle says I want an honest review, so keep it going. Keep watching. Not sure what that got.
And here's something I want to throw out. If there's people loving this show and they're down with whatever is happening, that is awesome. I always say, like, if you're loving the show and you're paying the subscription, right? Like, you should like what's going on because you're paying for it. It's content, and it's a product that you're supporting. And so if you're loving it, great. I'm so happy for you. But if you're not, it's okay to be respectfully vocal about it, because that's the only way the company who's creating the product is going to know the consumer is unhappy with it, right? Yes, you can boycott if you want to. That if Acolyte has done that for you to where you've given up on this show, I understand. Go ahead and unsubscribe to Disney Plus. Me personally, I love Star Wars. It's a very important IP to me. There are some good things that have come from Disney with Star Wars. Like I said, their animated stuff, other than Star Wars Resistance, which I haven't really paid too much attention to. I watched a couple of episodes and I was like, yeah, doesn't capture the same magic that Clone Wars or Star Wars Rebels or even Bad Batch has done. I tell you, this final season of Bad Batch, I'm not finished with it yet, but it's so good. I'm glad that I kind of, avoided watching it because I knew I was going to be sad coming towards the end of it, and it's just been a great show. But I hope the writers are paying attention, that they're not putting up the shields, they're not lying to themselves, that to me it seems like the majority of the fan base seems to not like sing from the hilltops of like, this is Star Wars, this is the greatest thing. I'm hearing more negatives, and yes, there's always going to be people who are just loud on both sides, right? But to me,
some might even say an echo chamber.
yeah, right. To me, when you're just hear from some of these people that, like, I haven't heard anything great from other people. Like, usually, to me, it doesn't feel like The Walking Dead. in a essence. Like those first seasons of The Walking Dead, where every Sunday came around, it was the one thing people were talking about every Monday. Oh my God, did you see The Walking Dead? Like that was some crazy shit. You know, I don't hear like people the next day being like, "Oh, dude, did you watch The Acolyte?" Like, "Oh yeah, that was something special there." You know, you kind of can pay attention to what certain social groups are talking about, and I think Acolyte is being forgotten, and that's sad. Um, and I hope they're setting us up for something special, you know, by the time the season ends. But I don't see how they're going to fix some major issues that they're doing to themselves because they just don't care about what Star Wars is and what it's done in the past. They're doing their own thing, which I don't mind people challenging it. Like I said, you don't want the same content over and over again, right? You want something fresh. Andor, I felt, did a fairly good job of having good storytelling. It was undeniably good storytelling, but it was different. It was very different. You know, very, very, very different.
They had their own format too.
Yeah, great point.
I like
LBC
what
says,
that.
hey,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead, Corey.
I was going to say, he says, hey, LA liberal here, not really, but I am sure most of you would think so. We don't really care, LBC Robbie. But he says he likes to think that he's open-minded and fair enough to say that he didn't hate that episode. And hey, you would hear from Trey, myself, and Koj. We're happy if you like it. You know, like, we're
That's
glad
good.
some people are finding some enjoyment out of it. So we're never going to, hate you on if you enjoyed it. It's just our opinion. I didn't care for it. So yeah.
And you know what? I would agree with you that I would say I didn't hate this episode. The other episodes I disliked very much. This is the first one where I would definitely be like, meh.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that that I have an issue a little bit more with this one is that now, like, action-wise, there are some good things to it, but now people are like, oh, they never said it was a Sith, so Kayandi Mundi hasn't really lied yet. But now there's some key things that have actually set in stone what's going on here. And while there's definitely good elements of this, there's it's proven us right in some of our major issues with the show. So that's where I'm kind of struggling with Dylan. It's Dylan says I figured out who the real Sith Master is.
I like that. It's Dylan.
It's Dylan.
It's Dylan. You crazy son of a.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. Once I get stuck in the Arnold Schwarzenegger,
he says it might sound a little crazy, but I'll spoil it if you want. It's already been spoiled.
We did already watch it. It's Dylan. If you're talking about episode 5, we already finished it. This is like our reaction to it now. So we know it's Khmer, which I felt was kind of we said it during our breakdown. Like, if it's Khmer, it's just Khmer. Like, that's, I don't know why that just felt like a huge letdown, but I see. No, Khmer's master. Well, okay. So if you're saying, I think I know who you're going to say it's Dylan, because technically, if they're being truthful about Star Wars lore, and even what Emperor Palpatine has said, it should be Darth Plagueis, because the rule of 2 with Darth Bane and Plagueis followed this same rule. We would know that technically Darth Plagueis, it would be his apprentice then, because he's definitely around at this time. So I don't know. Is that who you think it is? It's Dylan? It would have to be Darth Plagueis, I would think.
Dylan.
Son
of a...
Or they put a spin on a simple story. Oh, go on.
He says, that was something I hope that they would get right. No, not make the obvious dude the Sith. I think it lost some of the mystery element. there as far as the rest of the story.
I mean, in all honesty, they didn't need to ever call him a Sith. He could have declared himself something else entirely.
I would like something new. That'd be neat.
Right. I think honestly that would have been, they were already kind of doing that, right? They were already kind of creating like the thread is not, we were talking about it. We were completely okay that the witches had their own ideology, their own viewpoint about what the Force is in their mind, the thread, because that makes sense. We know people would make their own definition, their own logic to what something that's kind of hard to describe anyways is. To fit their narrative, to fit their goals, right? We see that with religion all the time. It's why there's many different versions of Christianity. But to me, it's just like one of those things where, I don't know. It would have been better if they never called him a Sith, because like you said, if next episode Soul has already reached out to Coruscant and is updated the High Council of what has happened and all the people they've lost and who this enemy is, Ki-Adi-Mundi is going to look like a real dick. It's
Dylan says, I like the theory, but someone else.
Sure, you know what? Go ahead. Throw it out there. I like a good theory. If you guys don't want any spoilers, you can don't read the chat. Just hang out with us. If Yord
OBC Robbie says if Yord followed the code, Osha would be out of there and he would still be alive. I did like that they knew each other though. Whoa, this is an interesting one. Konaka. That's interesting.
Not the green lady?
The Wookiee.
No, that's the Wookiee.
Oh, the Wookiee. Huh.
He's in the evil forest.
What's he doing there? Did he fake his death?
Dylan, can you explain that one in the chat? Can you give me like your 3 reasons? Like
he says, I'll tell you why.
Why.
He already said that.
Okay, cool. That would be a mind-blowing theory. If you are right,
hey, Trey,
man, I will
Trey,
shout
run the
that
chat
out.
real quick. Run the chat real quick.
Okay. Was there something in particular, Corey? Corey, are you there? Corey went missing. So yeah. Let's see. So it's Dylan is saying, oh, 1 second. Do you know the story about how Anakin was created? You're talking about the whole how Darth Plagueis tried to create life using the midichlorians, manipulating it, and that the midichlorians retaliated and created Anakin essentially to fight back. Yeah. You're talking to a Star Wars geek, my man. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, you're the master. I'm the Padawan on this game.
No. I mean, there's some people who go. I mean, I'm starting to read a lot of the Legends books now because my in-laws had them, and they're like, "Hey, we know you love Star Wars, so here you go."
That's awesome.
So
I read 3 books and played as many video games as possible, and watched all the movies and played the action figures.
Played a lot of the Star Wars games,
Yeah.
And you remember what the witches said about how they created them, right? Yeah, the using the thread to, and I kind of theorized that in a way the thread would it kind of balanced them out. One would be the dark, one would be the light, and it kind of symbolizes with what the moon was and what's in the logo, the 2 rings, the blue and the red. It represents the sisters. They're a balance of the force or the thread, because one is good, one is evil.
So stay with me now.
Or stay with him. All right. Dylan, this better be good, man. You're keeping me up late tonight. Don't know the anticipation, guys. So we'll go through while we're waiting for Dylan to give us his theory that I'm very excited for. Koj, what you got coming up on your channel, my man?
Just my watch party this Friday. Hopefully we have you there, Super Bro. But yeah, watching one of my favorite films of all time, and y'all get to watch it with me for free. I got links and information coming your way, but that's gonna be 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern on my channel with Retro Nerd Girl. My sister is returning, AM Livers, and if you didn't get to meet her for the chocolate watch party, which was awesome, you get your chance now. And Trey, you're gonna be there. Bat Channel will be there. Hopefully, Corey, but I understand if you can't be there, I'll do a encore presentation for you. Definitely with this one. And yeah, it's gonna be great. It's martial arts, wuxia, fantasy. It's only on what? They make it on $10 million. It has like a small budget, but they really pushed it forward like Godzilla -1 time.
I was just gonna say that
it's back in 2006. This thing came out when 300 was coming out the same year. And the fantasy, the action, the acting, the lore, the love story between the two leads is just beautiful. And I'm really excited to share it with y'all. And I hope Italian will come out and enjoy it. I have a feeling, judging from how you enjoyed the other films from my Coterian collection, I think you'll enjoy this one a lot. And I'm really excited for that. So that's the main one I got on my channel, other than my random episodes of commentary and impressions on things. Yeah, that's what's coming up. Looking forward to it.
I'm so excited for that watch party this Friday.
I'm glad.
It's a good time, man. Guys, make sure you subscribe to our boy Koj's channel so we can enjoy all the watch parties, all the cool stuff he's doing over on his channel, and the gaming streams that he does. You're not going to want to miss that. And then
more coming.
Tomorrow, we will be doing our breakdown. I'm going to sit on this one. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to rewatch it again and start to really dive in deep. Not pick apart, but dive in deep. See, I always say, first time, that's the reaction. Sometimes the second time I watch it, I've let it gel a little bit. I can now look into the why. Why was this decision made? Why would the writer be like, okay, this made sense to me at this time? I'm curious to approach it in a different light now that I'm prepared for what's about to happen. And maybe I'll find some things I enjoyed more. There were some shots that I really dug cinematography-wise. The one where the trees were cut down, I was like, that's dope. That's cool.
Yeah, they got some good stuff around it.
Yeah. Okay, so Dylan says part one.
Hold up real quick.
Yeah.
I love what aggressively relaxing says here. With a library card in the app Libby, you can listen to all the Fiore Aries collection of Star Wars audiobooks tonight. Reading Rainbow.
Yes, yeah.
It's in a book.
I actually have a couple of those
Reading Rainbow
with a library card in the app Libby. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yes.
But yeah, I have a few on my Audible. Yeah,
I like the name
to it.
Aggressively relaxing.
Yeah, aggressively relaxing. I dig it. Okay, so it's Dylan says part one. Basically, Kelnaka went to hiding after what happened to the witches, and he started to study what happened with how Osha and May were created. That's why we see the marks of the witches in. Okay. I did catch that. I did notice that. Part two, in his house. And then when we see Torben's scars in episode 2, but not 3, and in episode 2, he talked to me about how he deserved to die and stuff like that. That's because Kelnaka came. Okay. Part 3, back to Brendok to try and save the information about how the twins were created, but when he got there, Torben was there and he tried to stop him, but ultimately failed, and Kelnaka gave him his scars. I'm guessing what you're saying. That's a crazy theory.
I would like that because that means we'll see more Kelnaka.
I would agree with that, which I did see. I know one of my biggest kind of gripes about the last episode was man, we didn't even get to see Kelnaka in action. I saw a couple of behind the scenes photos, and it looked like it took place 16 years ago. on the planet with the witches. So, and Kilnaka had his lightsaber out and he was throwing down. So I'm assuming we're going to see him a little bit in action, because that would have been depressing if we didn't see a Wookiee Jedi like throwing it down. All he got is Gunji, you know.
We did have a reveal of a new motive with the new reveal of the character who they really are and that they know Soul. Might be possible we might get some flashbacks and see Kilnaka that way too, maybe.
And you know what? Didn't I say, Corey? I was just like, I think we're going to get 1, 2 flashback right on the 3rd episode, 1, 2 flashback again. So I think literally they're setting us up for this next episode to be a flashback with Soul revealing the truth of what he's done, of why he's somewhat responsible. What's up, champion? Saying $180 million fan fiction. The fights are awesome, but the writing is meh. I think honestly that's a thing that is a bit disappointing. Is $180 million? That's a movie budget right there. And
bro, Godzilla -1 every episode.
Basically, more even. It'd be over $20 million, right?
Yeah.
Just
like I said, fanfic.
Yeah, that's funny, dude. I did
Richard Champion.
Okay, so it's Dylan says part 4 scars, and then Kilnaka learned part of the secrets of creating life. He later passed him on to his next apprentice after Khmer, Darth Tenebrous, who passed it down to Plague it. Pass it down to his apprentice. But wouldn't that mean Kilnaka's lightsaber should be red? I guess that's assuming. Well, though he would have made his crystal bleed. It's an interesting thought. Dude, if you're right, that is some of the craziest stuff I've ever heard. If you're right, I will personally say on this channel, I was just like, dude, it's Dylan, nailed it. The theory of all theories, king of the world. This guy knows what he's talking about. It's interesting, dude.
Or does he have like a good idea that Disney's not going to capitalize on it?
Or does he have a really great idea that Disney won't even use? Oh my gosh. Well, guys, don't forget, tomorrow night we're going to be doing our episode 5 breakdown at 9 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you guys set your reminders now. Just FYI, the thumbnail will probably change. I just set it as a blank one because I had no idea what was going to be shown in this episode. So what was I going to make it look like other than generic? But if you love Star Wars content and you're not digging the Acolyte, or you want more Star Wars content from us, check out our whole playlist. We have a whole playlist. This is just only 6 of like 30 videos that we've done of Star Wars. Check them out. See what we've said in the past. Enjoy what we got going on. But hey, we love having you guys here. Okay, It's Known says episodes 4 and 5 were meant to make us think Kilnaka is dead, but it was just a part of his and Khmer's plan to try and leave no evidence and frame May. Also, we see Kilnaka in trailer scenes we haven't seen. I was thinking that was flashback, but maybe you're right. Maybe it could be something else. But that's what I got right now. I dig it. That's pretty cool. It's done. We'll have to keep watching, dude. And we'll have to see if this crazy theory is right.
I like his theory. That's really interesting.
It is. It's, you know what? It would be, it would have been really surprising, but now I'm kind of hoping he is right, because if he's not, then something tells me it's not going to be better than that. But guys, I just want to say once again to everyone who hung out with us for our watch party, we appreciate you. Replay crew, comment throughout. I love reading your guys' reactions to these episodes, so I can let us know what you're thinking throughout, or if you're like, oh no, Trey, you missed something here. There's something right there. Like, check that scene out again. Let us know if you're really enjoying the show. Tell us why you're enjoying it. Maybe you'll help me look at the show differently. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts. But as always, we love you guys. Be kind to each other. Be respectful to everyone out there, and subscribe to our boy Koj.
Subscribe here.
Yes, thank you. Please like, share, subscribe, comment away. Guys, I am your host, Trey, with Koj and Super Bro Corey. And don't forget to tune in weekly.
Same that time.
Same bad channel. See you later, guys. Have a great night.
Peace.
God bless.
Oh.